Hello everybody, welcome, my name is Owen Adams, and this is my next tutorial video. As usual, I'm clipping this during the stream, so you may occasionally hear me referencing people in the chat. If I forget to edit those out, sue me, I'm helping you. What are we coming here causing issues just because I'm trying to do you a favor? Yeah, go on, get out of here causing trouble. But other than that, welcome. This is one of the most requested tutorials I had when I posted my tutorial request video, which was to show how I make a mob spawner in survival. Now, the first bit I can't actually help you with, because what you actually need to do is just find a spawner. You cannot make these in survival at all. And I've gone the wrong way already. You can't make these in survival. What you have to do is find one. I've guided my way to one here. They'll usually be underground in cobblestone. So here we go, I found one. Look, here is one. It's a spawner and it spawns skeletons. Now, the first thing you want to do is kill all the monsters that are attacking you, because that's an important part of the process, otherwise you will die. I don't have my good armor right now, which is really annoying, but there we go. Kill the skeletons that are attacking you and then quickly put torches on the spawner. This won't completely stop things from spawning, but it will dramatically reduce how many they spawn. There'll also usually be some chests here. A good thing to do is just get rid of these immediately, and then just pick up the chests and just put the stuff in. I'm carrying a little bit in my inventory, we'll clear this out in a moment. Pick up the stuff, pick up the chest, just drop some bits. This will all be edited out, don't worry about it. And, man, we're just picking up cobblestone now. And just go immediately, just get the chests out of the way. Drop that stuff. You don't need that. Whatever you do with that's fine. Just get these out of the way, the chests and the little bits and goodies in there. Because you're going to be digging down. Now, a mob spawner, the basic goal for probably your simplest mob spawner is to create a room around the chest. You're trying to create a room around your spawner that is the maximum size the spawner can spawn around. So basically the spawner has a limit how much it will spawn stuff around, basically how far away it will spawn creatures. So what you're trying to do is, and it's the same size for any spawner you find, once you've found the spawner, you're trying to basically encase it in a room that's so big that it won't try and spawn stuff outside that room. And for that, that is 9 by 9, basically, with the spawner in the middle. So the way that works is stuff. Can you enjoy watching that in the tutorial? The way that works is you want to start out, imagine you're in the center, and then dig 4 out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is going to be the size of our room to here. And we dig this out first. So I'm gonna dig that out, and I'll see you again after the cut. So once you've laid out your 9 by 9 room, basically, you've got your distance here. We're going to clip these walls off in a second, but what you want to do is take the torch off the top and produce a block like this. What this does is it stops the spawner from spawning any mobs on top of the spawner, because if that happens, they'll get stuck up there and it won't be particularly useful. What we need to do next is clear out the room and go down, basically, to make a drop. The drop is important because you want the spawner to drop the mobs such a height that they take a little bit of damage beforehand. That's useful because as long as the mobs are going to take a little bit of damage when they fall, the height basically lets you make a system where you can stand near the mob spawner but still have them drop. It'll make more sense when we build that, but building the drop basically helps you lose less durability on your tools when you're making the mob spawner. Later on you're going to be sitting here killing mobs as you go, and the drop will basically help you inflict a little bit of damage on them before you ever get the tools. Now you can see we've opened up a few gaps here. This is all going to be sealed. But right now, we're just laying out the room as much as we can. Now the next thing you want to do is go 9 down from the spawner itself. The easiest way to do this is just to dig legitimately 9 down. You don't need to go straight down, but basically just make to you so you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then just leave that there. And then on your next side, just dig your way back up. And then you've got that little thing. When you reach that level, you know it's fine. Now, as I build this, I'm actually leaving, you got iron ore, coal ore in the sides there. I'm just going to leave these because I'm not here to collect ore today. The goal is just to clear this out. So we're going to speed up the video a little bit as I clear out this room, because nobody needs to see me doing this. This is very, very simple. You're just going down. Now you've laid out the shape of the room, you're just going down to 9. As you go further down, you'll find that you'll open up holes in the walls and things as it connects with other caves. Just seal them all up, and just make sure that this is the space. And then in theory, once this space is done, you'll have a whole space that is just the right size for the spawner. The spawner won't be able to produce any mobs outside this space, which is an important part of the process. So good luck with that. I'll see you again on the other side. Guys, there's a lot of people in the room. There's monsters show this video. We're doing it twice. I'm doing it when it's actually half this. I'm breaking off this video, so you guys can calm down a little bit. I know the game's a lot of fun. I'll do it. I gotta get this long. But you guys need to keep in mind this one part of what you get enough. The whole bunch of the show. Alright, here we go. So I'm going to channel. This is actually the here. I'm going to have to get a little bit over at some point. We're going to shoot off and it's about this. It's going to be a little on there. I'm actually going to make it way easier. Because all you do is click out all the sections where the overlays are. That'll make it much faster. Alright, so 50 minutes. It's 20 likes. Always 20 likes. Let's go. We hit 20 likes right now. I'm still doing some fishes. So that's the goal to do it. It's not the time to do it. I'm just going to do it. Bring it. People love it. I want people to enjoy it. But it's not the only thing to stream for. And that's editing, absolutely. So that's the concept of the shout out to get reach. It's like a fault. You guys have to make sure the stream's being healthy. I'll do shout outs to that. Oh, that's the number one. Like, also, I'm actually, I'll do actually. Mine's cold. I'm going to have to actually. This is a main for a second. I'm going to have to do actually a little bit of so I'm going to have to do a little bit of XP on that. Oh, actually, what I do? Oh, that's right. This is going to go. This is going to not have time. I'm going to be very little more than I like. Just how you use the sorry. The accent anyways. Accent again. Accent is no and accent is to tell where it's lost. Accent pretty weapons. They're not necessarily always going to get the salt, but they are pretty weapons. Not yet. Once that's the idea, just roll chest. It's just villages. I just spawn in villages. So they don't spawn in villages. He doesn't look at that. Or he's doing this. He doesn't look at that now. I don't know. He's looking at villages with preset areas. Villages moving on. You have to move them by false. Even that will be different. In your normal villages, and then villages you find, you can villages spawn next to them. It's in the block like that. Also, this is accent check. Very high, just easy number again. It's one of the best little songs that so that. Here we go. So you can endpoints that takes you to I'm sorry, all movies. You can freely select them all. I like them all. I think X-Men first is really good. Very different feel to the other movies, and yeah, I think they found emotional heart in that movie. Also, which is pretty nice. Here we go. She was at the hotel. You can have false. No. That was around the village. Now let's check. Alright, so once you've got the whole room to 9 down and 9 across, basically, minus what's above the spawner. So from the spawner, 9 blocks down, 4 blocks either side. So 9 by 9, then 9 down. What you want to do is, first of all, you want to find the middle. So you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, blurp. 1, 2, 4, blurp. And then just follow these down here. That's the way to find a middle of any room if you need to. There's your middle. And you want to put a block, you want to dig down here, basically. Put a little hole in there to begin with. And then you want to put 1 water source block in every corner. Here's some water I prepared earlier. Somewhere around the time I accidentally discovered I built the room the wrong space and I had to completely resize it, that you didn't see because of mouthful editing. And then what you have is a room where, if you were to just take your hands off the controls, no matter what happens, the room will... The thing will put you right through here. Now I've made a slight error here where actually, because I had to readjust these walls, the spawner's slightly off center, but don't worry about that too much. This should actually still work perfectly fine for the time being. In fact, if we just head up here and take these blocks, take these torches off, you should now start to see the basics of how a spawner works. There we go. So yeah, if you're building this, don't do what I did and make sure you get it on center. It's because I had to correct midway and I thought it would be fine. So now what you see is, let's take this out here. I'll take this block out. What you'll find, as they kill me in a moment, is you now have a room where mobs will fall down to the bottom of the room and gradually be pushed into this section here. Which is pretty interesting, right? So I'll just stand back. Mobs will fall, they'll land in the spawner, they'll get pushed down to the center of the room, and there you go. That's the most basic construction of a spawner there. That's your basic starting point. So now, once you've got your basic room, it's a question of how you then turn the rest of this area into a spawner that is basically useful for everything else you're trying to make. So yeah, we do have a little bit of an off-center there, but that won't actually affect your spawner that much. We also have an unsealed area there that we can fill in later. They work a little better if they're on center, because here some skeletons could spawn outside the spawner, but they probably won't actually, because if you look at this wall here, that was the original cobblestone wall they went into, so this shape is really sufficient. Once you get down here though, what you want to do next is start making a section that your skeletons can drop into over this way. So what you want to do is go down 3 from here, and what that means is when skeletons fall in, they'll now drop, they'll fall down this hole here, and you want to head along this way. And you want to go, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it is 9 again, basically. 9 seems to be the magic number here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to put a torch down here just so I can see what I'm doing. Eventually you'll want to take all the torches out of the spawning room, because otherwise they kind of break the system a little bit. And the next thing you want to build is a water elevator. So we want to put a water elevator up here. So one thing we need is we just need a little bit more water. I'm going to just dig my way out of here for now. And I'll see you guys again when I've got my water, and I'll show you how to make the next section. So once you've laid out your room like this, and you've got your section down there, and your spawner here, you've got your spawner covered in torches so it can't drop people, you've got this area here, and then you've got this trap. What you next want to do is put a, you've got this trap hole in the section, you want to put the, this water block here. What this will do is, as you see, carry anyone that's not moving along. What you have to remember about mobs is, when mobs can't see an enemy, they'll always just travel along to their next point. So, we go, boo, all the way along here. Now, the next section is a little tricky, because what we need to do is we need to make sure they'll actually get on to the next stop. We want to go one past where water shoves them, so it'll shove them onto this block. So this is where we want to build the next section. So we've got, our spawner drops them into the room above. The water source on the corners of the room above pushes them into the center. Once they're in the center, they land down here, which pushes them down here. The next thing we want to do is build a water elevator straight up that carries them all the way up. Now we're going to build this 2 shafts wide because we need to be able to count how far it's going. So for this, what we need to do is go about 24, 25 high. So we're going to go 25 high, basically. And then we're going to make a single shaft that will carry them up. And it's going to be just a single elevator shaft. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13, 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, next level. 20, 21, 22. So just 24. This is one block in the middle of the ground. 24. This is going to be this is going to be, that's actually right down to the trap. That's going to go this. Make sure it's closed. Make sure all the way down this. So as the, this is going to be water, so it's going to fire up here. So you need to close the trap all the way up this. So it's just 24. And this is going to be too high. There's one. So I'll send you that's just close. So once you've got your shaft heading up here, got the area down here, what you want to do is get the height right, get it to about 24, 25 blocks. I'm going to use sand for this. And we're going to head through the trap ourselves, go to the base here, so we can take this out, and then just go straight up, and make sure you're enclosed all the way. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Close this here. 21, 22, 23, 24. So we'll stop. And this is going to be our exits. This is going to be where we start going on to the next section. So I'm going to put a torch here just so we can see where we're going. And this is where we're then going to start building the drop aside. And then what we want to do is go across. Let me just check here. So then you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 across. So from here, 1. Again, keep yourself nice and enclosed. Don't put torches down and make it impossible to do your job. 1, 2, 3. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's your 6 across, and then 1 across to go down. This is where we're going to go down into the next area. We're going to put another source block here. So again, anyone who ends up here is going to travel along to there, and then they're going to drop down. So now what we need to do is basically dig our way all the way back down. So once you have your spawner set up, you've got the system where mobs drop into the room, they fall down into the spawner pushes them to this system here, and then what you want to do is essentially prepare your water elevator. Now a water elevator is an interesting system because it used to be done with signs. Mobs used to automatically swim up. The way we do it now, though, is a little bit different. What we do now is we use soul sand. And soul sand is a substance where when it's in the water above, when you are above it in the water, it pushes you up. So if you play soul sand, it fires you up like this. Now, right now, that's not quite firing me right away. It takes a little bit of time to sort of adjust. As we go through the system again, it's worth mentioning, humans and mobs respond to it a little bit differently. I'm gonna get out of my secret exit here. Escape from the system. So what we have now is a system where mobs generate, fall in, get pushed to the center of the room, fall into the trap here, get pushed further along. Now this section here we have a little bit of flowing water, but mobs will progress along here. And then once they travel here, they'll fire up. Now we're going to take our glass panes we got earlier and make ourselves a basic viewing window. Just to kind of see. So what we're going to do is, like I say, well, put a window on the other side because it makes it a little easier to see. We're going to actually now have a spawner through here, but they aren't traveling up yet. The water elevator isn't quite functional yet. So, like I say, we're just going to pop some stone on here. Make a little viewing window so you can see them traveling past. Okay, so I made a slight issue with this build, which is a good opportunity to explain some of the principles and make a correction. But, yeah, so the water elevators actually don't work if you put dropping water from the top. It's been a while since I built this, so what we're going to go through is I'll show you actually how you have to put this in to make the water elevator work all the way up, because we've got a little bit of an issue where the water elevator isn't functional here. What we want to do is get to the top and remove the source block we've got here. That'll take the water out there. So what it needs to be is it needs to be, whoops-a-daisy, source blocks. So as we drop, you'll see the water elevator seems to work this far, because this is kind of as far as we have source. Although it's stopping a little bit on here, which is frustrating, but... Oh yeah, so we still have bubbles all the way up to here. So, what we're going to do, to make sure we get source blocks the whole way is, first things first, I'm just going to empty these. I'm going to empty these water buckets, and what we're going to do is we're going to take water out wherever we can. As far down the system until we hit the water elevator, essentially. Until we run out. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this side off here, which with my slightly unenchanted pick, this is going to be a little bit of a slow process, so we'll fast forward it. What we're going to do is we're then going to lay water source all the way up the side, just so this water elevator keeps working. Just going to keep removing these until we have full water source. So I'm going to just speed up a little bit, and we'll catch up again in just a moment. Way more. Stop keeping out. Not bad. As long as it's two. Okay, so now we need to do. Take these water sources. Build water all the way. Oh, build water source all the way up. Essentially, it should work. I'm just speed through this. Actually, it's taking up so much. Okay, so that I think. Water source. That's what. So let's build source. Okay, so I think that works. Yeah, there we go. So now we do this coming. One more time. 25 blocks left. Here we go. I don't know if I jump, but hopefully. This is a this is a stone. What we do is dig up. There we go. So now, if it says calculus long loss each source, that's true. But yeah. Oh, this is the board. Actually, I like these little animation. Oh, God. That's actually not my flash. If it's a no, you know what? I want to make this video quite a bit, so I can get two of these. Actually, get it done. In a way where I still do screen too, and hilarious all the time. It's really fun. I just don't want other people to watch. That's okay. I don't want people to watch because I don't like reading the notation of all your stuff. I want to still stuff. But before I made it, I said to people, I told people I'd be like this. This is the kind of what they said this. I can take no blame. I knew that. All right. Drop on this. You should. Hey, there we go. That should work. Oops. So let's now drop through here, and what we need to do. I've got to go through the whole process again, really. Right, I've got to run through the spawner again. Take the image off. So, once you have your whole spawner once you have your whole water elevator done, you should be able to look through your little viewing window and see bubbles like this. If they're going up and they're going up all the way, that should basically be done. You need water source blocks up the whole length of the shaft. Then what you can do is try and run through the spawner again. Drop in. Blurp. Fall down. Water pushes you towards the end. And apparently in my particular version, I currently have some cobblestone here. Let's just clear this out. Now that's going to create a little clash in the water. Now, this old design isn't ideal because what you'll see is you have water coming from two directions. So it'll push you into here, and then you've got this section here. Which is, again, not ideal. You've got this lull in the middle where the water pushes into each other. As this fills, it'll take a little while, but as the zombie spawner fills the first time, it'll push, or the skeleton spawner, whatever type of spawner you've got, it'll push skeletons into the further and further down the shaft. So it's not ideal, but it does work, basically, without too much of an issue. Then once you get to the end, you've got to kind of work on your last little phase of the spawner. And this is where you need to drop down. Now, before you went up about 24 blocks, what you need to do is go down here. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. Well, you want to be kind of in line with the spawner. So essentially, you want to go down here. Let's see, maybe about 20. You don't want to go as high as the original spawner, so let's drop down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, hold on. Let's just check we got our water spawner at the top here and it's pushing people towards the end. I want to make sure you're the right distance, otherwise this won't quite work. Ah, yes. Completely forgot. Now we want a water source block here. Blurp. Oh, okay, maybe not here. Here. That'll... Why isn't that pushing people? We've created magic water. There we go. Push people across there and we'll get... yeah, see, this is really not working. What the hell is going on here? There we go. That's what you want. So you push people down to here. So, once they get onto here... in fact, actually, we want to be one across. Because you want to be on the... You want to be as far away as you can get from it. Actually, do you know what? That's fine. We'll go here. Mind you, then water's going to drop down there, isn't it? No, we don't want that. We want to be one past the water, basically. There we go. So down here, you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20. Give it. And then we'll go over again. Now we're completely done. So what I'm actually going to do, and I think this is a better idea, is once you've made your drop, go to where you put your viewing window in, and then just dig out this way. It'll be an easy way to find it, because presumably you've got access to your viewing window, and then your spawner's just on the other side there. So, let's block this up so light's not getting through. We're going to actually close this up and put the mobs back on a moment. So just dig through this way. Just head through till you find your drop, essentially. We're going to keep illuminating this. As soon as we find the shaft coming from the ceiling, what we'll find is we actually have our... That's a little different. There we go. So that's not it. As soon as we find our ceiling drop, essentially, this is our direction here. This is where we're going. We want to find our drop down for the mobs. This is it. This is where the mobs are going to fall. We just then put a little stone block under there, so a normal sized mob won't be able to fall down. If you've also got a slab, that's actually a really good idea. You can find yourself a slab. Just make yourself a slab of some variety, put that on top there, and then your mini skeletons and mini zombies won't be able to get down there too. So that's basically it, the whole process of the spawner. What we have to do now is just put the mobs back on, and this should be it. This should be a whole spawner. There we go! Beautiful. Okay, let's see if one falls. This is what we need to see. As long as more will go up here. As long as more end up pushing through. There we go! But he also died. So if we can get one to go through here, it's fine. There we go. As soon as one travels up, some will eventually drop. But right now they are dying, but this might just be because they were attacking each other. It might not be because the drop's too tall. In fact, the drop shouldn't be too tall. There we go. Alright, so, final part of the video. We had a few ups and downs along the way, a few bumps while I was making this. If you actually go check out that daily Minecraft stream, episode 1132, you can check out me attempting to build this if you want to see kind of difficulties I had along the way. But now you will see we have a mob spawner where zombies fall from the spawner on the other side of this wall, down here where they travel to the water elevator. They travel all the way along and then land here. Now, it's a little tricky. You've got to make sure that water elevator is working fine. And because of the way water elevators and water blocks work these days, you have to let the spawner run for a little bit before mobs start spawning, because they need to push each other further into that water elevator. But there we go. That's working. You can now kill these guys with only a few hits. Get yourself some sweet XP. And that, my friends, is how you make a mob spawner, basically. If you would like to see the diagram that I used originally to make mob spawners, I will place a link in the video description, but it's also worth mentioning that that diagram is obsolete, so you want to use that one for distances maybe, but don't worry about anything where it says to use signs. And that's the process. There we go. We had a little bit of hit and miss, took a little while to make there, but hopefully you enjoyed that. I enjoyed making it. You're all wonderful people. I'll see you guys all next time, and if you enjoyed this tutorial video, please do like and subscribe. Bye!